Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of a victory edition of Michigan Wolverine Chat. Michigan's victory over CMU last weekend. It was a total different. It was like, I know it was Central Michigan versus Oklahoma, but it was still a different team. And we're going to definitely talk about that. But before we get started, and maybe this is going to bother you, some of you people, maybe it doesn't. And I don't want to, my goal is not to bother people or upset people, but let me just say this. If you are joyful and gleeful and celebrating because a man with 2 children, 3 in 1, and a beautiful wife, 31 years old, was massacred and murdered and assassinated on live, not necessarily live TV, but live stream. If you're celebrating that, I don't care what you think of his views. I don't care if you agree with them, don't agree with them. That's all up to you, personal taste. That's fine. What I am saying is, if you're celebrating it, there's something mentally wrong with you. And you heard me. Mentally wrong. In today's society, I just have no words for what happened. So I just want to say that. Now, we're not going to talk a long time about it, but, again, I agree. I happen to agree with most of what he said, not everything. He wasn't a hardcore conservative. That's the funny thing. He was more moderate, and if you didn't agree with him, he would bring you on his show. He would love that. He wanted to have civil discourse. He said if we stop talking, bad things happen, and we know what happened. So I just want to tell you that I'm asking for everybody to pray for him and his family and his 2 little girls and Erica. As even though it's been a few days, I can't put into words what they must be going through. It's just, there is something wrong with our country right now, and it literally breaks my heart. And I want to let you know I'm actually on the verge of starting another podcast, just not on a regular basis, but just when civil events happen, things like this, and it's going to be called Crossroads, Bring Common Sense Back to America. And I'm just going to talk about what I think, what's going on. It's not going to be a hardcore political show. It's not going to be a hardcore faith-based show. It's just going to be me telling you what I think is going on with our country and what we need. And it might work, it might not. But if it doesn't, that's okay. At least I'm going to feel like I'm doing something. I just feel like I got to let my voice be heard through all this. Okay, so thanks for that. And again, I'm just asking prayers and thoughts out to the Kirks. Just a god-awful thing. And I pray that the faith of this country will come together because of this. And I'm just scared it's not going to happen. I thought it might be a 911 moment where we came together. But as soon as that happened on TikTok, and I know not everybody's doing it, but there is way too many people, and a lot of the leadership on the left and in the Democrats are literally doing it, and it's not okay. Okay, so now after that, let's talk about college football. I know, not an easy transition, but Michigan that was fun, was it not? Now look at these stats. This is all I got to say. 616 to 139. You know what I'm talking about? Can you guess? Total yards. I'm going to say it again. 616 total yards, 139 for CMU. Passing yards, 235 for 60 to 60, 235 to 60. Yards per play. This is a big one. Central Michigan had a whopping 2.6. Michigan, 7.7 per carry. Now, I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to come back to this one because this is if I just said this one, you would tell the tale of the game. Third down conversions, Michigan was 8 for 11. I mean, almost every one. and Central, 6 for 15, almost 30. We stopped them almost 65% of the time. Fourth down conversions, they were 0 for 2, CMU and Michigan. Now, it says 1 for 2, but you know what the one was? The one they didn't make it at the very end of the game when they just kneel on it till fourth down and turn it over. So they really didn't miss a fourth down. Now, in fairness, they only had one. So Michigan had 3 sacks. Time of possession, another big one, 33 minutes for the Wolverines and just 26 minutes for the Chips. Okay, the one stat I didn't say, I had to literally double take at this. 35 first downs. 35 first downs for Michigan. How many for Central? You probably know, 8. We had 27 more first downs than Central Michigan. That doesn't tell you that the game. It doesn't. Bryce, they said let him drive that Ferrari. Like I said last week, he drove that Ferrari. It was fun. Very first play of the game. That was one of his only bad passes. He missed. Who was it? McCulley, I think, was wide open and he missed him. Almost interception actually. And then I believe they had one interception. Let me see. Yeah, they had one interception that Bryce threw. So I think he had just a couple bad passes, and that was it. And the one was coming out of the gate. Bryce, 16 for 25, 235 yards. 90% of that was in the first half. Okay, second half he knew they were going to start running, and before the fourth quarter even started, Jaden Davis was in, which I love to see, and I'm glad he's back up. But I know McKinney is hurt, I believe, so maybe that's why he's third string, but or maybe fourth string now. But Gonzalez, I believe that's his name, our third stringer. But he didn't pass the ball. I was really hoping Jaden Davis could pass just a couple. He still hasn't passed a single pass with Michigan. Okay, so Bryce had one touchdown. Again, that one INT. But his passing was on, and they weren't all little teeny passes. He was on. But get this, 109 rushes. 9 rushes. So you think if he averaged 5, that's what, 45, 50? No, 114 yards. 12.7 per carry. He was the first Michigan quarterback to rush for over 100 yards since, not Denard Robinson, my brain is not working. You know who I'm talking about. He was a quarterback back in 2012, 2013. He does all the broadcasting. I'll look it up here in a second. But I can't believe I can't think of that. So first over 100 in a long, long time. As far as rushing, other than Bryce, Justin Haynes, he had another touchdown taken back. It would have been his 6th, and it would have been his 5th rushing over 50 yards or 55 yards, but it was a holding call. I think Marsh did the holding on it. But he was 14 carries for 104 carries. Great job. Again, 7.4. And welcome back, Jordan Marshall. I'm glad to see him starting to see the rock. 10 carries, 52, 5.2. He had a nice solid game. No breakouts, but a lot of solid runs. And this is what we need. Just get that 4, 5, 6 yards. On the receiving end, Samaj had a pretty good game. 4 receptions. They spread it out real well. For 69 yards. 17.2 each in a touchdown. That was great. Hogan Hanna had 3 receptions for 43 yards. Donovan McCulley, 3 for 36. I think Donovan is starting to show me that he really, hopefully he will deserve that number 1. Right now, it's scary to think he's our number 1, but they're all starting to come. They'll do good. But now Nebraska, this is going to see what happens. I don't know what the line is right now. You probably do out there if you're listening to this. But Deshaun Barnum, 6 tackles, 2 sacks. He has some vicious tackles and some vicious sacks. Kind of like the sack he had when he was called for sparing his head and got kicked out of the game. Jamar Hill, another good game, 2 sacks, 6 tackles. Zavada, actually, a little rough start. He missed, what was it, a 52-yarder? Just outside of the right, which 52 is like a 40 for everybody else. So he's been a little bit out there. But, it was a game without Sharon Moore, our coach who took over. Again, if you heard some of his interviews, you could tell he hasn't been interviewed a lot. He kept talking about love letters to Sharon Moore, and he's just, there's nothing wrong with him. I love the guy, but he's just kind of soft-spoken, and you see he's a big guy, big, strong guy, and you think he'd be kind of rough, but he was just the soft-spoken. He was a nice guy, and he said some nice stuff about Sharon, and so did the players after the game. So, what do I think of Bryce? I don't think he's going to continue to be like that. But I think he's definitely on his way, and he is going to be one of the all-time greats here at Michigan. He's going to be a top 2 or 3 pick. I think he'll go after his junior year. We'll see. I just think he's the real deal. He's got a great attitude for being he's an 18-year-old with all the accolades he gets. What a good attitude, and just is a nice kid, and isn't a jerk in the locker room, even though he gets, $11 million. He thought it might be a little bit of issue, but it's not. And as far as Jaden Davis, there's not. He led the team to a touchdown, which was great, but he basically just was handing it off. The future of him, I don't know. I hope he stays around just because I like the kid, but I just like to see him get some playing time. We don't know what's going to happen with Bryce, if he's going to leave early or what. But this year, or this week rather, we got Nebraska coming up. What am I trying to see? I don't know the odds, but Michigan, I'm picking to win by about 17 points. I'm picking about maybe 30 to let's say 13 points. 30 to 17 is what I'm picking. Sharon's going to be out one more game. He'll be back the week after that. But that's all I wanted to talk about this game. It was fun. Next day we got to watch both teams, Lions and Michigan, had 2 different teams. The way the Lions played against the Packers, and compared to the Bears, 53-21. That was. I taped the game. It was a beautiful weather, and so my wife and I, we did come home from church and decided to go to South Haven. So I recorded it, but I made a mistake of putting my Lions jersey on. And when we were in South Haven, there were a lot of people with Bears shirts on because, we're kind of close to Chicago, I guess, and halfway Detroit, Chicago. But nobody, said anything. They didn't say, "Did you see the game?" But we're watching boats, and some guy says something, and I'm like, "What?" He goes, 53-21. The Bears suck. And I'm like, "Thank you. I appreciate it. I was recording it, but now I know." So I came home and watched what I could. We actually came home and went to a Charlie Kirk prayer vigil at Western Michigan. And if you're like, "I didn't know they had a prayer vigil," you are right. It was in Facebook. It was the Republicans, and it was on their legitimate Facebook. Showed where to go, where to park, but there was nothing there. So I don't know what happened. But it was sad because I was looking forward to going to some kind of vigil. I know they had one at the Capitol today in Lansing. Michigan State had one. Traverse City had one. I'm not sure if there's going to be anything else, but the funeral's going to be Sunday in Arizona and State Farm Stadium where the Cardinals play. So I'm sure that will be full. It's amazing a guy like that, just an influencer, can pack an NFL stadium where they had the Super Bowl. So anyway, I'm still I can't tell you what I think is going to happen with Michigan. They clearly have a chance at the playoffs. Will they make it? I'm hoping, and I'm gonna think they're going to, but again, the way they looked against Oklahoma it's like that was their first real test, and they did not look good. Now, I don't know. They have some tough games coming up. Not as tough as last year, but Penn State. I think they play Penn State. I don't think they play Penn State, but they play Ohio State, of course. They play MSU, and they play Nebraska this week. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Again, I didn't mean to try to be preachy. I don't think I said anything about that. So I didn't want to get into politics. And even my new podcast is not going to be about politics. It's just going to be about common sense, which this country needs more than anything. So thanks, guys. I love you all. Again, go out and do something nice for somebody. And just no matter what you think politically, I hope you understand what a terrible thing that happened Wednesday. This is just something this country, I don't even recognize this country anymore. So thanks. I love you guys. Go Blue, and we will see you next week.